This is the case of Joshua Powell. In 2001, he would marry Susan Cox. Josh and Susan had lived with Josh's father, Stephen, for some time. Stephen would become absolutely infatuated with Susan. He used mirrors to spy on her in the bathroom. He used camcorders to record her. He stole her underwear from the laundry. In 2003, Jeff's father, Stephen, declared his love for Susan, which then prompted Jeff and Susan to move out of state. Jeff and Susan would go on to have 2 boys. After some time, Jeff had become very controlling of Susan. She was also upset that he was still in contact with his father even though he was continuing his infatuation with Susan even out of state. They also argued over the fact that Jeff never attended church services with her. It got to a point where Susan made a will, and in her will she wrote, "I want it documented that there's extreme turmoil in our marriage, and if I die, even if it looks like an accident, it's not." On December 6, 2009, Susan would attend a church service with her 2 boys. Then one of their neighbors would go to visit them after church. The neighbor left the house about 5 p.m., and that's the last time anyone ever saw Susan. The entire family was actually reported missing on December 7th, 2009. Susan didn't show up for work on December 7th, and her purse, her wallet, everything was still at the house. They would later find her cell phone in the family minivan. At around 5 p.m. on December 7th, Josh would return home with the 2 boys, saying that they were out camping. Police went to the campsite he said he was at, but they found no sign of any campsite being there. There were also blizzard conditions going on, so they found it kind of odd he would take them camping at that time. They searched the Powell home and they would find traces of Susan's blood in the house. They discovered a life insurance policy, of course, for $1.5 million on Susan, and a handwritten note written by Susan herself that would express fears for her life. A little while later, investigators would find out that Josh liquidated Susan's accounts, canceled all of her appointments, which investigators obviously found a little strange. In 2012, they interviewed one of the boys, Charlie, and he actually confirmed the camping trip took place. But he said, "Mommy was there with us, but she didn't come home with us." The other boy had driven a picture of a white van with Mommy in the trunk. So Jeff became a major person of interest. He was given supervised visits with the 2 boys, and on February 5th, 2012, a social worker would call 911 saying that Josh grabbed the boys and wouldn't let her come in. And moments later, Joshua Powell blew up the house with him and his 2 boys inside. Josh had contacted his family prior to say goodbye, but there was no time to save anyone. Susan is still missing, but presumed dead.